is this is on the major glitches side of logic and the rule set of A Link to the Past Randomizer. And major glitches may be required, out of bounds clips and such, in the overworld and the underworld. And our runners are off. We see a pendant at Tower of Hera. And both runners are following a similar path to start out. Maybe a gambit to Sahazrala, but maybe not. We have Osse setting up a fake flipper, and Malmo as well. So we are immediately getting an out-of-bounds clip, followed by a fake flipper. Very cool to see both runners pull it off nearly simultaneously. They earn only a red rupee from it, of course. And so, yeah, there we go. So it requires a minor glitch to get to Hobo. That's one of those minor glitches that is in logic. So there may be something we need right away from that check, but not this time. All right, then we have a start at Sanctuary. So both runners will be checking bonk rocks. And we'll see where they go from here. There will be a lot of divergence at first, most likely. And with overworld glitches, all of the overworld is available to our runners. Anything that we can see is what we can get to. So we can use the overworld as sort of a sandbox to run around in, go whichever way we like. We see a bow on Lumberjack Cave. So that's interesting. We know that there are 2 bows in the item fill. So we may or may not be picking that up. That's very interesting. And we have 300 rupees in the Lost Woods. So that is too good to pass up. And we'll see what is in Thieves' Hideout. Just a piece of heart that both runners pick up. And we're still synced up, which is great to see. Malmo is able to dodge the grow. And Osse gets hit. Now we have divergence. So Osse goes to Kakariko. Malmo is doing a new DMA, a Death Mountain Ascent. And this screen wraps Link and puts us in Old Man's Cave. And it's dark, but we know our way around. Meanwhile, Osse is checking Blind's Hut. I heard Malmo take a fall, but we still have 2 more hearts remaining. So, what is next? It's getting a little dangerous. We might have bad luck, and we do, unfortunately. So Malmo will start back at the middle of the cave. Try again. That's just the way Death Mountain goes sometimes. And just junk in Kakariko so far, but we are getting money, so we have enough rupees to go to Zora if we wanted to, and we have enough for this Cane of Burna at the bottle vendor. Okay, Malmo gets past the checkpoint she needs to get past, and takes another death, but no matter. She's on to the next play. Meanwhile, we find the hammer in the chicken hut. And what is next for Malmo? She's setting up a couple of dash buffers that will put Link past the collision that she wants to dash off of the mountain. This is intended to be a dash off to access Graveyard Ledge or King's Tomb. It's one of the newer methods, and it wasn't executed quite right, and it's still a bit new to me as well. I've done it, but I don't know how to diagnose it at the moment. Meanwhile, we have Ice Rod on the library shelf, and next for Malmo is a check at Sahajala, always a fast check with boots started to start. We also have the lamp at library, or on the race game ledge. And what's at Sahas? Just junk. Osse is doing a teleport to position Link to hop down to to desert. And desert is often an initial check that can be combined with Kakariko. All of the overworld is basically connected, and we can go whichever way we want. And we get a small key on the torch. Meanwhile, Malmo is going to the dam, and we'll see if this is a South Shore check. She already has over 500 rupees as well, so we may see a trip all the way to Zora. So what is next? Osse does have access to the boss. That would be an interesting choice. Would be interesting to see if we get an early play for Landmo. And yeah, Malmo is continuing a South Shore check. So, Mini Moldorm Cave, Malmo has 8 more bombs to fend off the Moldorms. And we are good. Very well played. 3 bombs for 4 Moldorms. We also earn a sword and a lot of heart containers. Looked like we got 3 heart containers in the South Shore check so far. We also have a sword. All right, so if Landmo has an item, Osse may be interested in picking it up, or no, not good enough. We will be waiting. So instead, Osse is continuing on to Aegina's cave. Meanwhile, Malmo's in Ice Rod Cave, opposite corners of the world. And yeah, Malmo is continuing on, setting up a water walk. That is a very fast way to get to Zora. Nothing at Aegina. Osse is also continuing on. That's interesting. Could this be a play for Cave 45? So Cave 45 is, of course, just a hop and a skip away. We're just going to buffer continuously until Link hops the ledge. And there we go. And we have a Master Sword already for Malmo. In the waterfall. Very nice. We have a shovel on the ledge. Interesting. Okay, what's next for Osse? Okay, I see what's happening here. We are going to Landmo after all. And it's because we can get these other desert checks out of the way first. And once we are through with Landmo, we will be stuck behind the rocks. So that's where the play ends. Meanwhile, Malmo does want the shovel. She needs to be a little lower, setting up the buffer to the right. And she realizes that, so she's restarting the clip, she's clearing the area. And with that buffer to the right, Link performs a hop and needs to take a trek around the foliage. All right, so one great thing about this fight is Osse does have the ice rod, and we can deal a lot of damage. Let's see how this goes. Meanwhile, Malmo is off to Tower of Hera, always an interesting dungeon in this mode, because in HMG, upstairs might not be available. In this case, it is. We do have the big key randomly available for us, this seed. That's nice. If the big key were not available, we would have to clip in. But I kind of doubt we'll be seeing that. This seed, we have both keys, the big key and small key available. So if we need to go to Swamp later, we can clip there. And with the small key in hand, we might have to unlock Swamp from Hera. So in HMG, there are 4 underworld clips to keep in mind. There are only a few diagonal walls we can really take advantage of in this game. But all the underworld is connected, and 4 of them happen to be helpful for us and affect the item logic. All right, what is next here? Osse is doing South Shore. Malmo has cleared Hera and just needs to go to the boss. However, I don't know what's in the basement. And there's an item. So thank you for that. In HMG, we do not often see a play for the basement because so much of the rest of the world is likely to be available. The only way we'll see this early is if it has Moon Pearl, in my opinion. But we'll see what happens. 3 good spins for Malmo to take down Moldorm. And Mirror is available. Wow, what a great reward for finishing this pendant dungeon. So, very nice. And Osse cleans up mini Moldorm cave with the ice rod. What's next for Malmo? Maybe it'll be... Well, she has the mirror, so a lot of the world is available. The mirror has certain glitches. It allows us to do certain things that may require some glitches. So basically, Super Bunny Cave might be in logic, Pyramid Fairy, Pyramid Ledge, the Village of Outcasts houses on the left and the right, and the beginning of Skullwoods may be available. Those are just some spots off the top of my head. The mirror allows us to do a DMD, a Death Mountain Descent. I don't know if we'll be seeing that. Meanwhile, Malmo is clearing the east side of the mountain. And she does not have a hammer, so it won't be very easy to access the east side of Dark Death Mountain. So we might not be seeing that next. That would be an option available maybe to Osse later. We have our first bottle found in Paradox Cave. And it'll be interesting to see how Osse approaches maybe going for that shovel on the ledge too. And flippers are available. as well as the gloves. So we have flippers, bottle, and gloves available in Paradox Cave. Meanwhile, Osse's doing a spin speed clip. Very nice. Yes. Okay, that's great. That's great. Osse's clip allowed him to skip the trek around the entire domain, and it required like a hop and with a splash, and then a second hop, followed by a third hop, and that's one of the kind of a newer method. So that's great to see. Now Osse's going for a DMA. Very well done. The sword combo. Having a sword allows us to take advantage of spin speed, and Osse was able to do that both with the Zora's domain clip and with the DMA. All right, and Dark World map check. We have Thief Town Green and Paw Dependent. So pretty interesting. We have some normally fairly easy to access dungeons that are all pendant. So this should promise to be an interesting seed here. All right, so now Malmo is doing a successful DMD to Graveyard Ledge, and it's a lot easier with a sword in hand. Yeah, it's another spin speed setup. So now Malmo has done a DMD. She's walking into a fairy hole. This is a houlihan, and she ignores all of the rupees. It's simply, for her, a path back to Link's house. And I missed the mirror placement for Malmo, but it was offset because she did a screen wrap. And what this does, it continues to... let's see what we have in here. First of all, we have Ether Medallion. So... yeah, so the screen wrap caused Link's global position to be offset, and when she placed the mirror portal, it was actually placed way down in front of Hyrule Castle. So she was able to find the mirror portal upon returning to Link's house. And that allows us to clip into Pyramid Fairy. And next for Malmo is Escape. So it often is a popular strat to check Pyramid along with Escape at the same time, especially when we have Mirror. When we have Mirror, it becomes very tempting to do that. All right, so Osse takes Moldorm down. Now Osse is equipped with the mirror as well. So it is interesting to compare items right now. Of course, Malmo has not been to Kakariko Village yet, so she does not have the lamp or the hammer. And Osse is off to the East Mountain checks. Malmo is dashing through and is a bit overpowered in Escape, of course, as it often goes in Randomizer. So Malmo will not have the lamp. She does have a small key. So I'm wondering if she checks the back of escape. I really have no idea. And Osse shoots a nice rod shot at the wall. Nothing happens. The bomb works to open the wall. So, Malmo has the advantage of having a bottle in hand on her first trip to Kakariko. Osse will be at Village of Outcasts sometime in the future. I'm not sure if it will be post-Pearl or pre-Pearl, but certainly we'll be able to check the Sick Kid as well as the Village of Outcasts. All right, Malmo did mirror and is dashing through the sewers. We are now in Dark Cross. She unlocks the door first because of HMG reasons. It may be helpful to have an extra key available from Hera if we want to unlock a swamp from Hera. Oh, and Osse is checking escape. I missed the play to escape, so that's pretty cool to see. Malmo does not make it that far, which is interesting because now Osse has just checked it and there's nothing there. So we should talk about the swamp unlocking situations later. But I want to know what's next for Osse here. And what is appealing right now? So I suspect it's going to be another play just like Malmo did. Yeah, so we can see Osse doing a screen wrap DMD. So he walks into the portal while Link has screen wrapped. So Link is still on the Death Mountain screen, but his global position is way down south. So now Osse is placing the mirror portal in front of the castle right now, and we often use this this controller-shaped marking in the ground to decide where to place the portal. There's a wide window of where we can place it. And meanwhile, Malmo is checking Kakariko Village. Personally, I would have checked this with Village of Outcasts at the same time, but it's very possible it would waste time because it would require bunny navigation. So Malmo is not taking that chance because there's so much available, and it's quite a rare seed where Moon Pearl is in the Dark World. You know, I don't know how often it takes place. Maybe 1 in 10 seeds, maybe 1 in 5 seeds. Probably not 1 in 5. Probably more like 1 in 10. So it's not very common. So, meanwhile, I bet we'll see Malmo go to desert after this. Meanwhile, Osse is checking the pyramid ledge. I wonder what is next for Osse. We haven't seen too much more from Malmo that hasn't been checked. We've got Uncle, then we've got Sahasrahla. We have Graveyard Ledge, and we have not seen King's Tomb from either runner yet. Where is Lamp? Lamp is in Kakariko. Yeah, there's not too much left in the light world. We do have Eastern Palace. We do have King's Tomb available. That's, like I mentioned, we can get there with a DMD. That's not all that's available to us. We also have Palace of Darkness in Sphere 1 as well. And we can get there with an underworld clip from Spectacle Rock Cave. So it's one of those 4 underworld clips I mentioned that might be required. So I believe we might be seeing that soon. I don't know. However, we know that pot is a crystal, and if we go there, it would be helpful to have a bow, because then we can finish the dungeon. How likely is it that we'll go to Aghanim? Pot is a pendant, excuse me. Thank you for correcting me. Pot is a pendant. It is not appealing. I was just thinking every other dungeon in the game is a crystal. That is not a good assumption to make. All right, so pot is a pendant. Excuse me. And we will not be getting the bow before going there. Of course. And Osse sets up the double spin for the ball and chains guard. Good play. So we don't often see Aghanim in HMG seeds. We would basically only see Aghanim if we wanted to get the lumberjack item. All right, so we're seeing a screen wrap from Osse that is a wrap to Spectacle Rock Cave. He's setting up a teleport here with a bomb clip. And there we go, very fast. Very well done. So, we can clip from Spectacle Rock to Pod. They are not really adjacent, but they are connected because the cave is at the bottom of the map and Pod is at the top. So it screen wraps Link. Not screen wraps, excuse me. Going down from the bottom of the map places Link at the top. So it's like an underworld map wrap. And because of the map wrap, all the sprites are despawned. And we also need to load the dungeon from the beginning so that the game knows that we're in Palace of Darkness. So once we reload the dungeon, we also return the sprites back to us. And I believe we saw an unlock of the first door from Osse. I might be wrong about that. No, we did. Yeah. Yeah, so when we go into cave state, we have 255 keys actually. And in that state, keys are not displayed. It's sort of a hack that the developers came up with to show keys or not show keys. Okay, we're using we're using camera unlock to get past the mimics. That is a minor glitch that is not required. The logic for Palace of Darkness is the same as in no glitches, where all the same items are required to do all the checks within it. Except, of course, Moon Pearl and the entry requirements. All right. So, what is next for Malmo? She's already been to the east side of the mountain, but here we go again. And I have an idea. It may be to hammer down the turtle rock pegs, because the hammer allows us to do that. And how about that? A bow is already available in Pendant Pod. So, crystal or not, it was a it was a Palace of Darkness that we can clear. So will Osse actually clear it? I don't know of the items found, so I don't know the risk involved. All right, Malmo is indeed a bunny link, but still, Super Bunny Cave is available, and we can use the Super Bunny. And by the way, Hookshot is in pod as well. Loaded. I didn't expect this. And mitts are available in Super Bunny Cave. As far as I can tell, that is our first Sphere 2 item, since that is blocked by mirror. Excuse me. Mirror or hammer, really. So that's how Super Bunny is accessed. Meanwhile, Malmo's doing a mirror clip to get to the Turtle Rock ledge, and yeah, Mimic Cave is in logic here, and so is the initial sort of middle items of Turtle Rock. Which is not a very appealing check. And Malmo does not go for it anyway. That's interesting. Interesting play. It is very slow and a slim chance that anything will be found in Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, we have Osse in Eastern Palace, and this is a great route. Pod leads to Eastern quite nicely here. All we had to do is mirror upon leaving. And we had the bow earned from Pod, and we even had a hook shot to make one of the rooms faster. Meanwhile, what is Malmo doing? Malmo is doing a bunny clip. And this is something that's not required in HMG logic, but it is something we can do, and it is a faster way to get to, somewhere else that we might want to go. So right now, she's in position to do a clip to Ganon's Tower. And Ganon's Tower is out of logic without Moon Pearl, but there are just so many items here. There are 20 good chances to find progression. And it's quite an interesting play this early on. So I'll be curious to see if it pays off. So, Alma does have the hammer, and so she may want to approach the entire left side. And how about that? We have the fire rod. That is intriguing, but doesn't really open anything in Ganon's Tower. And it tells us we need the Moon Pearl in order to get fire rod. That information itself is not helpful, but it's interesting. It actually is slightly helpful because it means that Ice Palace is, well, it's a little bit less likely to have Moon Pearl. But actually, Ice Palace is available for our runners because of mitts being available. And yeah. We also can skip Freezor because Ice Clip is one of the other in logic clips. In other words, we can get into Ice Palace without having firepower. And Malmo's doing left side GT with bombs, which is fairly slow, but you know, we only have to wait for 2 bombs. It's not that slow. What's next for Osse? Osse's done with the east side of the world and is doing an upward teleport. This will take him to the witch's hut, actually just east of there. And we see a messed up screen transition that's sort of hanging out in the middle of the screen. We cannot touch that transition or we'll have an infinite scroll. So we move the camera to the right. Osse hops off. We really don't need to hop off there. But Osse's playing it safe. We have the big key on the left side that's hookshot blocked. And we have maybe 3 more chests available, 4 more chests available for Malmo before she probably will be leaving the dungeon. And she doesn't get the bonk over the warp, but the hard hat beetle helps us out, and we get a D-boost. All right, so the shovel doesn't help us this time around. I'm trying to remember where we found ether. We just saw it. I can't remember where it was, but it doesn't matter. Both runners have it. All right, and so gloves in hand, Osse is doing one of the few glove block checks that includes Checkerboard Cave. All right, we have a bowless fight of Armos Knights for Malmo, but we do have the Burna Cane. This will make quick work of the first 5, even 6 possibly, but she doesn't get the quick kill. It's a very tough chance. I don't even know if there's a strat developed for a quick kill for Burna. But she cleans it up. And we'll also find out if Sick Kid has anything, but no, it is just 3 bombs. So, what is next for Osse? Osse's found some great progression here. And we are still looking for Moon Pearl. There are a few places that I mentioned that might have it. Malmo might be going to one of them. This could be interesting. Malmo is approaching a screen transition where we'll be hopping off. She does an infinite scroll. That's unfortunate. She gets another chance here. And what she was trying to do was a funny auto swim thing, or fast, in order to get fake flippers and swim to Ice Palace. We'll see what she goes for next time. She almost had it, but she didn't have the positioning correct. She was a bit too low before doing the hop, so she performed a screen wrap instead by accident, and we don't want to do that. Instead, we want Link to jump down just so Link hits the transition, and so Link gets a fake flipper and a funny transition. All right, so Osse is checking East Dark Death Mountain. And we'll see what's in store here. Personally, I was slightly surprised that Malmo did not continue on in Turtle Rock. Alright, so Malmo gets a fake flipper, and is going to Ice Palace. We by the way saw Malmo find the high value pack, and so she was able to keep farming until she got full magic power. And what do we have here for Ice Palace? We've got everything we need to full clear it, really. So how will Malmo be clearing this? First, she's setting up a bomb clip, and she's using a bomb throw method. We credit Fricker22 for that setup. And we have a green bunny on Osse's side. The mitts changed the palette, which is always kind of a funny thing in bunny form. And how will Malmo be clearing the Pengator room? She's doing the Tarso bomb strat. Taj Pengators. Very well done. Great to see. And what is next for Osse? What will Osse be doing here? Thinking. We're going into Tower of Hera. Okay, we'll check the basement. This is a good play too. I mean, all these plays are not extremely desirable, but this is an interesting play. The Ice Palace play to me makes sense as well. It is a crystal that we have to do, and Malmo can full clear it. The basement check is one that's just kind of lingering. It might not be worth anything, or it might be, a winner. But we'll see. All right, bomb jump time for Malmo. Can she get the pixel? Yes, she gets it. We're at very low health right now, so she has to be careful. Is it time for a red potion? Yes. Oh, I missed the check. I didn't see an item. All right, so Cane of Samaria is found. Thank you. And it is definitely a required item. So that is very, very interesting. Especially in hybrid major glitches where Swamp Palace, Tower of Hera, and Misery Mire are all connected. So the cane makes it very interesting. All right, so what is Osse doing? Osse's doing a fake flute. So Osse has blue potions and is doing a fake flute for his bunny navigation. So when we land, we are super bunny and we can get into a pull state. We just need to pull a tree or pull a statue, and then we'll become Link again. I don't know why Osse isn't dashing, but maybe he wants to be careful. So he's Link now. We can be Link in the overworld until we return to somewhere indoors. So what does Osse want to do? Well, there's a bunch of stuff we can do. It's not very clear what the best order of operations is. So going into the bombable hut first makes sense. Another way to approach this would be to do underworld bunny revival in Thieves Town, which is an easy way to become Link, and we can do the overworld checks and as Link without any problem. That puts us on a what's called a fake Dark World screen when we die in a dungeon. So Meanwhile, Malmo is clearing Ice Palace. Now, when Osse gets to Ice Palace, he'll have the advantage of the red cane. So that'll be faster. So this is a sort of another dungeon where Malmo might have a disadvantage. However, we don't know the solution here. Whoever gets Pearl first might have a good advantage. So I don't know what's going to happen here. We still have the initial checks of Skullwoods. And we have... Well, Osse checked a C-shaped house and chest game using Super Bunny, and those are in logic methods, but they didn't seem to have anything. Not that I saw anyway. All right, cold stare fight for Malmo. Let's make it a good one. She's getting hit already. That's too bad. This will be a very scary fight, but I know she can do it. We have an underworld revival for Osse and Skullwoods at the same time. So Malmo gets cornered, unfortunately. That's painful. It's very difficult to get back. Curious to see what happens here. I don't know if Cold Stare had an item. So meanwhile, Osse is in Skullwoods. We have the book. The book is available to us here. I'm curious to see what Malmo does next. And it may be DMD as a bunny. That's what I would guess. That seems to be the direction we're going. What's great about this play is that Malmo does have the fire rod, and she'll be able to full clear this dungeon. It looks like we just had a book at this point. So, oh yeah, Osse has the cane. So this part of the dungeon will be faster for him than it will be for Malmo. It's kind of interesting that Malmo is putting off the basement of Hyrule Castle. I mean, excuse me, of Tower of Hera. But like I said, it's one of those things that we don't like. We don't like to check. So Osse's thoroughness has been rewarded. Osse is in fake light world, in real light world apparently, and is going up. So he may be checking an item that doesn't exist. He's also using the mirror. Of course, we're in the light world where the mirror will not work. So basically, Osse may have forgotten to mirror before leaving the woods. Unless it was the plan all along to go to Ether Tablet from here. Which makes a lot of sense. If there's one thing I know about Osse, it's hard to tell whether his routes are intentional or very good backups where one thing leads to the next. All right, so Ether Tablet is not the answer. And on Malmo's screen, we can hear the overworld music, the light world overworld music, and that tells us for sure what world we are in. And like I mentioned before, if we die in a dark world dungeon, then the game will return us to the return us to the light world because it thinks that we are supposed to return to the light world if Aghanim is not defeated. That's just how the code of the game works. And that kind of code is something we take advantage of in glitched modes. And it's not something that we experience in Randomizer because it was patched out to make Randomizer more normal to play. All right, so Malmo is checking Skullwoods. Looks like a play for the back of Skullwood's chest before Mothula, I believe. Oh, it just occurred to me that Malmo is going for a fake flipper. And I was talking about a fake flipper strat, but she already had the flippers. Because I was just reminded of that because Osse's just going to Ice Palace with the flippers in hand. Or on feet. So, yeah. Disadvantage of solo commentary. Anyway, Osse is also doing the fricker setup for the bomb clip. There are multiple ways to set up this bomb clip, and we've seen many different, at least 3 different methods. 2 of them being insta clips like this one, and another one being a teleport. And by insta clip, I mean as soon as the bomb clip pushes Link down past the wall, Link can kick into the transition. And what I mean by teleport is something like Osse did in Spectacle Rock, where we can clip into the collision, but then Link has to position himself to teleport downwards into the transition. All right, what is next for Malmo? Malmo has not checked Village of Outcast yet, so that will be next for her. She still needs to mirror before exiting the screen. Like I said, the game thinks she's in the light world, so once she hits a transition, it'll transition like the game normally would to a light world screen. And that's what happened to Osse earlier, leaving Skullwoods. All right. Oh, excuse me. I was not totally paying attention to Malmo's route earlier. Of course, she needed to do both checks and back of Skullwoods. And then the book becomes her last item. Okay. Then we have Village of Outcasts. Again, we're approaching as a bunny. This time we do not have a fake flute. So fake flute was an option for Osse. That's not something that Malmo is taking advantage of here. And instead we are using the 2 in-logic methods of clearing this out as a bunny. And one thing our runners are doing is to position Link to the side, and when Link is facing sideways, he can't go into a doorway. So that means we can hit the very top of the doorway. So in other words, once we're at the top of the doorway, we can just do an up and Y simultaneously, and that will give us the trick. All right, interesting. Osse cannot move forward. He does not have the fire rod. So that's something I didn't really think of. Osse can't clear Ice Palace either. So I can't believe it. Both runners are coming up empty, which means we are running very, very low on where Moon Pearl can be. We haven't seen such a late Moon Pearl in a long time. So we're running low on checks. I can only name my hut and Turtle Rock at this point, basically. Uh-oh. Oh no, Malmo's going to Overworld Glitches jail. Stuck in a very small triangular-shaped prison. So Turtle Rock is very much open to Osse right now. Since we have the cane. But that's not gonna be what's gonna happen here. Osse is going to Ganon's tower first, and this is going to be a very interesting play. Osse has the bow as well as the cane. So this could be a full clear of Ganon's tower. However, Osse is standing still, and this concerns me, and it's making me think, yeah, Osse is saving and quitting here. Shoot. Well, it would have been a very good play, obviously, from our perspective. Again, it's not an in-logic play. It might be on the newer side of Osse's learning. And so he's just not going for it. Not going to do it. Meanwhile, Malmo is doing one of the more desirable checks right now, which is Meyer Hut. And we see Osse going to Pod. That's pretty interesting. Could it be a check of Helmasaur King? I don't know why else we would be here. And thank you. We see Bombos is required. And what's next for Malmo? All right, it's a King's Tomb check. And she doesn't need to trick the game into picking up the rock. She can just pick up the rock, which is nice. Oh, well, how about that? Moon Pearl is just in King's Tomb. That's really, really interesting. And it means that Pod will be delayed for Malmo. Which means that she won't find Bo for a long time. So, I don't know what would encourage her to go that direction. Instead, we have a lot of overworld to do. So Malmo will be checking Hype Cave. And we've got Tempered Sword, Gold Sword, a Mushroom, and a Piece of Heart. Very cool. Meanwhile, Osse is still in Palace of Darkness, going to Helmasaur King. Interesting. So Malmo is doing sort of a clockwise check of the world here. Going to Stumpy. I'm curious what's next. Probably Thieves Town. And what do we know about the seed? We know that we need Bombos for Misery Mire. For Turtle Rock, of course, we don't need a medallion. We just need both runners to find Samaria and both rods. Nothing at Helma for Osse. So Osse needs to think quickly here and do one of the last remaining Sphere 1 checks, which is where our Moon Pearl is. And alright, so Malmo does get to clear the brewery at this point. Remember, Osse had the advantage of the fake flute to deal with the village earlier. I think it's pretty interesting Osse didn't go for Thieves Town. Okay, Ozzy is going to King's Tomb. Okay, and Malmo is picking up Frog. So, will be also interesting to see if we get, a full green pendant play from Malmo. So, this is gonna start to come down to Bombos. All right, Ozzy's got Moon Pearl now. I think Ganon's Tower is a lot more appealing. And yes, he's got the portal. What play is this? We're skipping Spike Cave. That's fine. We are on the right side, so we're going to Ganon's Tower here. It's simple. There you go. Very fast setup from Aussie. All right, so we've got Samaria. He's about to find Fire Rod, and yeah, that'll be a full GT. Okay, so Malmo's got purple chest. What are we going to do with the purple chest? If we get a green pendant, I think we get to keep the purple chest. I think. I haven't really thought about that in a long time. All right, so we have two different dungeons here. We know there won't be anything on left side, I don't think. But we will be seeing new information out of Thieves Town right now. So, anyway, excuse me. All right, so Malmo is still looking for the bow. We know that the bow is in pod, and there is a bow on Lumberjack that she has seen. We know that Aussie has both the bow and the cane, and the cane is in Hera basement, so we won't. These are two different places that are both undesirable for Malmo at this point. So Aussie has a great advantage. This race still could come down to the placement of Bombos, which we need to get into Mire. And okay, we have an upper GT check from Aussie. I didn't see right side GT, which I'm a bit surprised by, unless I wasn't paying attention. And then, yeah, we'll see upper GT. Still 4 items remain in this direction. And for Malmo, just a few items will come out of this. We'll earn green pendant. Okay, Ajdir makes a good point. Since Aussie doesn't know Mire Medallion, that medallion may be all that Aussie's looking for. So a right side check wouldn't totally make sense if Aussie doesn't have to do it. So we will be putting it off for now. We can always go back to it later if we're looking for a medallion. And a blind fight from Malmo. Not sure if there is a item here. We have gold sword, but of course it doesn't make a difference. With blind, all that matters is the script, basically. 5 rupees. And a green pendant. Alright, we're at very low magic for Osse, so even though he has the cane, he'll be using bow strats. Good call. We get a 1 cycle, whiz 1. Very nice. And a 2 cycle, whiz 2. I almost spoke too soon. And yeah. What's next for Malmo? Turn in green pendant. We have the purple chest still, so she'll be turning that in. And meanwhile, we are approaching Mini Helmosaur Room. Osse's going for the key, why not? Osse will want that key if he wants to check the right side of Ganon's tower without any problem. We find a Quake medallion. That is not the right medallion, but that's got to be pretty exciting from Osse's perspective. That's a 2/3 chance in his calculation that he's in go mode. Alright, what's next for Malmo? She's going to the east from Sanctuary, so this should be a potion purchase or something. I don't know. No, it's not. It's just like it's a Hasrilla play. That makes sense. And then we have an Aga 2 fight for Osse. Let's see how this goes. We get a triple, a nice sideways lineup. And then we have an opportunity. Okay, a double. Very good. And a nice 3 cycle for Osse. Green pendant, meanwhile, is only a hard container. We have a Hera play for Malmo. This is not Hera. Just kidding. We are correcting the camera by entering and exiting the dungeon, and we are checking ether. And what's going to be next for our runners? Osse bonking over the Ganon drop hole. That is not the fastest way to get around it in my calculation. Okay, Osse is swimming. Osse wants to go west, so why not take the moat? Malmo is doing a very nice turtle rock climb, and this is a play that will take her to the back of Turtle Rock. And she does not have the cane yet, so she'll be kind of stuck here. It's an interesting play for sure. I'm not exactly sure why she's interested in an out of logic check. Meanwhile, we're seeing a very new technique from Osse, which is to pick up the rock. Okay, so we did not see a hook clip. Instead, we're just leaving. All right, we are mirroring out. Malmo might be stuck here, or she'll be continuing. All right, so okay, right. It's time for East Dark Death Mountain again. Let's not forget about this. Okay, Osse has some glitch terrain on his side of the screen, but that's quickly resolved. And Osse will find the bad news about the medallion requirement for Meyer. And so we can't go inside. We need to find Bombos. All right, what's next for Malmo? We can get one chest here in Hookshot Cave. Right, the hookshot. The hookshot is in pod as well. I forgot to mention that in my listing earlier. We get the powder. Interesting. Another item that doesn't really have anything to do with pod items. All right, next up, we can do a DMD to catfish. Did we already check catfish? Maybe we did. All right. Malmo has the mushroom from Hype Cave, so she can check this, and we can walk back into the portal and get mirror bonked, which is a pretty fast way back. Now Osse has the cane, so he'll be able to full clear Turtle Rock. So this is a pretty good situation for him. Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like the Turtle Rock play was sort of a catch-up kind of play. Also, Malmo's doing a light world fake flute, which is pretty interesting. This is the fastest way she can check the powder bat. Very interesting. It's at Bombos. That's amazing. So, very interesting. A non-hookshot required fetch quest from Hookshot Cave. So Hookshot Cave gave us powder. Powder gives us Bombos. Very, very interesting. So now we know where all the items are that our runners need to get for go mode. And so this race will come down to how quickly Osse gets to Hookshot Cave, which I doubt it will be too long. But first, we have Turtle Rock clear. And what's next for Malmo? She's in Dark World. And Malmo's been able to take advantage of the heart pack enemies, which are the high value pack in this seed. So she's been able to get fairies and such. Fairies, big magic. Okay. Malmo is going to Misery Mire. This is interesting. So Malmo will be full clearing Mire. And from Mire, we have another one of the in logic clips I mentioned before. We can go from Mire to Hera, and the last one is Hera to Swamp. So Malmo is sort of in a mega dungeon by entering this, and she may even check the Hera basement. I'm not really sure, but maybe. And then let's see. She will most likely search Swamp as well. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. It's not a very good position to be in because Malmo may be doing a hookless clear of Swamp Palace. Meanwhile, we have a Master Sword fight on Osse's side against Trinex. And Osse is alternating hammer and slash very well. So, Osse is now done with Turtle Rock. What is next? One thing we know about Osse is that he's 2 swords below Malmo's gold sword. That's because of Hype Cave. All right, Osse is able to leave the entrance of Turtle Rock and go on clearing the Dark World, which means go mode is imminent. It also means we'll be missing Hype Cave in this seed. Well, no, that's right. Excuse me. First, there's a fetch quest. Yeah. That's not go mode at all. So we're continuing to open chests in Hookshot Cave. There's just an armor upgrade. And then what's next? So then we've got maybe another DMD. To Catfish we'll be seeing. No. We are seeing a map wrap here. What a play. Osse's confident here. We cannot move to the right at all on the screen in Skullwoods, or we'll have an infinite map wrap. So Osse's very careful. He gets in. We are safe. All right. Very nice. Always fun to see that route. As dangerous as it is. And it's worthwhile, especially having checked the front of the dungeon. Osse's already done the front of Skull, and with the late Fire Rod, the Turtle Rock to Skull Woods play is always tempting for certain runners. So after Skull, it'll be pretty interesting. I suspect that he'll check Powder, but I really have no idea. It could be a save and quick to Hype Cave or something else. All right, what's going on with Malmo? Malmo is clipping. So what turns out to be the easiest bomb clip setup of the game is a transition to the fairy room of Hera. And now we're going straight to Swamp. So we're not messing around here. We're checking Swamp Palace. This makes a lot of sense. Because the clip is right here. And if we want to check Hera Basement, then that can be done at any time. It does not have to be right now. It is out of the way right now. No matter what you do, blue returns to you is our pedestal text. So we won't be seeing the blue boomerang, I'm guessing. All right, so Malmo is checking items in Swamp, and it will be interesting to see how much she clears. One thing that will be annoying is if she finds the big key here, because that will reward her with 2 big keys, which doesn't mean anything. It just means that the big key is erased. Okay, we are not continuing on in Swamp. That's interesting. Okay, So we have hype K for Osse. And so Osse may be interested in Swamp Palace. He has all the items to do it, but he can't. It may not be unlocked, and there's a 1 in 10 chance it's openable. There's a 1 in 10 chance it's openable. All right, Osse's got to be careful. He's doing a mirror wrap. This will take him to Ice Palace quickly, so he can do those fire blocked checks now. Okay. And meanwhile, Malmo is in pod, so she will be finding these very annoying Sphere 1 items. And that will reward her with the bow and hookshot. And she'll be able to clear Eastern. Meanwhile, Osse is clearing Ice Palace. And he uses a spin setup. I did not catch that earlier. He doesn't get it this time. Let's check Freezors. Why not? Just a red rupee. And then, yeah. So, Malmo, after she's done with Pod and Eastern, she'll have Hookshot. And so maybe Swamp Palace will be appealing. And since she's already unlocked it from going from Mire to Hera to Swamp, she might be searching that dungeon. And we know there will not be progression there, unfortunately. Okay, Cold Stare fight for Osse. He's got Master... Oh, no, he's got Gold Sword. That's right. Okay. So just 3 slashes, and that is it for Cold Stare. So that is that leaves 2 dungeons for Osse, and they are both they're both technically medallion locked, so there may be an information play. We may be unlocking Hera. Excuse me, we may be unlocking Swamp from Hera. It does not look like that's what's happening. Instead, Osse is going to right side GT. No. Yes. No. Right. That's right. First of all, let's check Spike Cave. So this is likely going to be a Spike Cave into GT kind of check. It will not reward us with anything. Yeah, so Osse's leaving with hook speed, and we'll be checking GT. All right, Malmo, just a single slash there for that bow. Certainly Aghanim may have been on her mind. That is now cleared, and she realizes how silly the seat is. But the silliness is not yet over, because she still is missing the cane, and that will be in Hera Basement. So we have not seen a lot of Ganon's Tower yet from her. So I'm thinking we'll probably see more GT before Hera Basement, but we'll see. And then Osse will run low on dense locations to check. Maybe remembering that powder. Don't know if mushroom was checked for him. There's mirror shield. I'm personally surprised there was even an item in there. But I don't know the key logic very well. So yeah, Osse's got gold sword, red mail, and mirror shield, the full equipment outfit. And we'll be seeing what's on right side GT. It's a flute, a useless blue instrument. We will not be activating that. Okay. Osse's got a key. And heck, let's keep going here. Did Osse check the big chest? That must be what we're going to do, right? Oh, I looked away but saw that Osse was knocked off the ledge. It's pretty uncommon. But this video game shows no remorse. There's an accidental fall. That was a little bit punishing there. All right, just a bottle in the big chest. Meanwhile, Malmo clears Eastern. And okay, so Osse does need to continue on. I did not realize that. Huh. Okay. Interesting. Okay, so Malmo is approaching Armos, and Osse is now done. So, what is next for Osse? We've got those fetch quests, like I mentioned. He may do an information play on Swamp. No. We are checking from Sanctuary, so likely fetch quests. This looks good. We're activating flute. I cannot believe it. Interesting. Yeah, flute makes sense if we're going to the potion shop. And maybe Osse has not checked Mitt's walk locations yet either. So indeed, we're walking. No, we're fluting. First time to turn in mushroom. And there's that powder reminder. Okay. Meanwhile, what's next for Malmo? Spike Cave. Spike Cave. I'm not sure if this leads into Ganon's tower for her at all. Or, yeah, it does because she has the bow. Okay. That makes sense. All right, and back to Kakariko we go for Osse. So he's got the powder, he's got the mitts. It's looking like go mode is imminent once again. And meanwhile, Malmo needs to clear GT. And we have skipped Hair Basement entirely. So this does not really look good for Malmo. Okay, and there's that, excuse me. There is a check of Bumper Ledge, which earlier we did not see because Osse ended up in fake Dark World. And checked it while in Light World with Dark World tiles. All right. Well, still need to do digging game. Osse's pathing is a little unusual, but that's what happens when we are, you know, we're here earlier, but we're a bunny. All right, now we can go rescue the smith. And we are past the hour 30 mark. Our runners must be sweating. This is quite a long seed, as we know from these out-of-the-way progression items. And the kind of the long plays that have ended up with zilch for both of our runners. But here we go. Osse's checking the magic bat. And there's Bombo's medallion. Osse101 is now in go mode. And we should be clipping to Meyer here. And what does that mean? Well, we're not clipping. We have the flute. We can just flute to Meyer. Of course. Easy. Uh-oh. What did Malmo do? Malmo just got a medallion cancel. So Malmo was walking over the pit's edge, and when we walk over a pit and use the medallion, it cancels and it wastes magic. So she lost a bit of magic there. And even the Wizrobes did not come through with 2 coin flips that did not go her way, and there's no magic reward. That's okay. Let's use the lamp. And let's be careful. Very good. So, not to worry. We are fine. All right. So what's going on here in Misery Mire? Osse is just searching for a big key. I do not remember where that is. There's Quake from Malmo. I knew there was something funky up here. Forgot what it was. And Malmo takes down Moldorm too. This is in Compass Chest. And now we have the Aghanim 2 fight for Malmo. We know there's going to be a horizontal lineup at first. How will she approach this? From below, a double to start. And a double for second round. She had a spin setup that was a difficult one to angle. So, cleans up bag of 2. Meanwhile, on Osse's side, the left side of Meyer is nothing. Osse moved the wall first before doing the rest of Meyer, and I wonder if he's going to use that to unlock Swamp Palace. Basically has to, because he used the Hera Small Key. Because we need to use the Hera Small Key and the seed, and in terms of logic. All right, Malmo is done with Aga 2, has a blue potion. Where are we fake fluting to? Okay, Osse is being very careful not to unlock the door and waste the key. However, now we have 0 keys as we go up, and that is pretty weird to me, but I guess we'll have a key at Vitreous. All right, Malmo's doing the right thing. Malmo is in Hera Basement, so she'll be finding Bombus Medallion. Cane of Samaria, and then she'll be in go mode. Now I'm wondering, what does she even have left? I don't even know what would be available to her. Maybe she didn't search Swamp, which is a good thing. But after this, she'll have 2 dungeons to do. Meanwhile, Osse only has Ganon remaining. Excuse me. After this, she'll have to do Swamp. Actually, both runners have to do Swamp Palace. So I've already counted out Swamp. No offense to Swamp fans. So Malmo will have to do Mire, Swamp, and Turtle Rock. Osse now has to go to Swamp, and we need to think about how to unlock it, like I mentioned before. And then after that, just Ganon remains. Okay, so Malmo did check Turtle Rock before, so it's not a full go mode here, but we do get to skip. We get to we get to dash past the lasers. We've already done that section. We already have a key, a small key. So now all we need is a big key. So Malmo knows she won't get silver arrows. I wonder if we're even going to check this chest. Sure, let's check it. It's another small key. Might be helpful anyway. If we have to check the front of Turtle Rock. And Osse gets the bomb clip in Mire, and will now be clipping the Swamp from Hera. And how are we going to do that? I didn't mention it before, but I think we saw some dash clipping. And wow, very fast teleport setup for Osse. Very nicely done. Osse is quickly becoming a very fast clipper. And he probably had all the basic skills down before, but has really shown an improvement of all the necessary glitches in this mode to stay competitive. And there we go. We walk up to the first floor, which of course says 5F. But anyway, we unlock the door with our key that we took from Mire and replaced. All right, so now Osse will just be pulling the dam and entering Swamp from the front. And we will be loading Swamp Palace, so we are telling the game to drop the swamp crystal if we ever find a boss room. All right, Malmo finds the key in Turtle Rock map room. I believe it is. Is that the map room? That might be the compass room. Excuse me. Never mind. And then we're off to Trinex. Yeah, thank you, Professor Pixie. Map chest is the roller room. Compass room is the room with spikes. And that is where our big key was. So we didn't need that small key after all. Well, maybe we did. I wasn't paying attention fully. We've got gold sword. Trinex is no problem. Remember, Osse had a master sword for this fight. Of course, it was also no problem. It just took a little longer. All right, Trinex is down for Malmo. And meanwhile, we have an Argus fight for Osse. Walking in with Gold Sword is always a little funky. It went for the 1 cycle strat, or 0 cycle strat, didn't get it. It does get a 1 cycle. And gold spins for the win here. And all that remains for Osse is Ganon. Okay, what's next for Malmo, by the way? She's doing a bomb clip. And there we go. A fast way to get to the west side of that barrier. And now she is clipping to Mire. Again, we'll see some glitchy graphics. No, we've already opened Mire. Just kidding. Rain is gone. And now Malmo is going back. And she has the cane and will be defeating the boss. And I'm not totally sure. I don't think she has a key. So I'm not totally sure how she'll be getting to how she'll be unlocking Swamp. Or she already unlocked Swamp. Never mind. She'll be entering Swamp from the front. But anyway, we have a Ganon fight for Osse. We've got Gold Sword, no silvers. The second bow was on Lumberjack Cave Ledge. And we've got a Warping Ganon. We've got Malmo throwing a block into a void. She's zeroing out the altitude variable, or maybe maximizing it, actually. Yeah, maximizing it, I think. I think it might be 255. So she's setting up a spooky action glitch. She does get it. Very nice. And we've got a silverless fight for Osse. Just 12 spins required in the final phase. And Ganon is defeated. GG's to Osse. In this very long seed. Osse takes Ganon down. Meanwhile, we have a Gold Sword Vitreous fight for Malmo. Very similar to the Tempered fight. And Osse picks up the Triforce. Congrats to Osse. And I don't have the race room up. And we are joined by Osse in the commentator booth. GG, congrats on winning this race.
Hey, checks. GG.
And a 144.41. This is a slow seed. What did you think about the item placement?
So I was like full despair for most of the seed after getting that Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
Like I did all the bunny stuff I could think of, and I'm terrible at bunny stuff. I've never tried it before.
Right. The Ganon's tower play as a bunny would have been pretty rewarding. Since it had Fire Rod.
Like the Fire Rod would have made ice a lot better.
Oh yeah, that's right. And yeah, the fireless dip of Ice Palace and the Helma play were a bit costly, but Malmo also had issues that slowed her down as well, since her go mode was Cane of Samaria in Hera Basement.
Yeah, I did realize that Cane of Samaria was in a really bad spot.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like, there's a chance that you check it. Like, I went there off of a save, so I was going to reset my key. But that was part of me full clearing looking for Pearl. I just found Cane.
Yeah. And what inspired you to check King's Tomb when you've checked it? And by the way, why not check it earlier?
Yeah, good question. Why not check it earlier? So yeah, I guess after Eastern, I had bunny stuff on my mind. And it just made sense. It's like there's pairs of items everywhere against one item in King's Tomb. Yeah, I should have checked it earlier.
True.
Especially after mids.
Right.
Well, not that mids actually help.
Yeah. We saw Malmo. On Malmo's side, we saw DMD, in which she checked King's Tomb with mids. Of course, we didn't need to trick the game into picking up the rock. So any other comments on this on the seed? We had a Master Sword fight of Trinex on your side. Of course, Malmo had Gold Sword at that time. We had both of those swords in Hype Cave. Yeah. Oh yeah, and I wanted to mention that you didn't know the Meyer medallion, so you had one medallion and then another. So did you have a? I don't know. Seemed like your plays made sense.
Yeah, my plan was to like full clear. I mean, not full clear. The opposite of full clear. Go mode as many crystals as I could, assuming I was playing from behind. And then, like, even after getting 2 medallions, it's just because of where I was. It seemed like Meyer was close enough to check from Pyramid. But I wanted to do Turtle Rock and Skull before even checking Meyer medallion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like
medallion, so
leaving like the slow checks behind. Especially for something like medallions, where you can guess that you have 66% chance to have it.
We have Malmo asking for an interview. If we can get a bot invite. Malmo did forfeit after the race, so it has concluded. And we are joined by Malmo. GG's Malmo.
Oh my goodness. This was not me being me. I know I could do better than this. This is something, I don't know what went wrong tonight.
Yeah, we saw a caneless laser bridge from you. How about that one?
I wanted a bow. I did not want to do Aga because I don't know. If I was going to do Aga, I would have done it at the start when I got my lamp right. So I was committed to that. And nothing really went right for me.
Yeah.
Everything just went wrong. But hopefully I can at least bring it to game 3 and go out with a little bit more grace than this seed.
Yeah. No shame in how this played out. It was pretty tricky for Osse to find the way as well with a very late Moon Pearl. And
I was really scared because you like your weird Moon Pearl placements. And then I just couldn't find it.
Yeah, no, King's Doom is not one of those. King's Doom is something some people just do. So if you're one of those people, I actually have no idea how you play. So if you're one of those people who just does it, then I'm super behind. But really, it was the cold stare death that did it for me. Because my one advantage was going to GT, getting the fire rod early, allowing me to single dip some dungeons. But when I died, it didn't matter. I didn't single dip it anymore. So I started playing like a complete buffoon after that. Completely tilted for the next hour.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's why, like, you'll see me stop in place, turn around 180 degrees, no idea where I'm going. I almost went to Aghanim, and then I said, oh, I'm just going to go to turn in this green pendant instead. Forgot that I had a mushroom in my pocket. Forgot that I had flippers going into ice, so I hard locked because I was trying to do a tech I don't know how to do.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that until later, that you did have the flippers. I was just talking about the setup. That you needed to be higher before jumping.
Higher before jumping. I don't do that enough.
Yeah.
I have to practice it before I pull it out on a run. I figured if I hard lock, I saved anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't lose anything, but it is slow. Death Mountain. I'll talk about that. And I'm curious about Osse because I missed the first. I think nobody marked me as complete or forfeit, so I didn't get the bot invite forever. So I missed the whole interview. Did you do Aghanim?
No. So I did. I had my mirror kind of early, and that gave me Dark World crystal layout. And so when I saw Pod as pendant, I just gave up on that bow and went straight to Pod.
Oh, you went to Pod. Oh, you got an early hook shot. Okay. That would have been nice. I should have done that when I saw Pod was a pendant. Going in without the bow is actually not such a bad thing. That would have been the smart thing to do.
Yeah, but then a little later on, I had my own problems, like not finding that pearl. I went in, killed Helmasaur, and then just stared at the map for a bit, and tried going into GT as a bunny, but then couldn't. So I was feeling kind of bad throughout.
Yeah, and then of course that Kane location. Curious when you got that as well, because I got it late. But I think anybody would, because it's pretty bad.
I got it sort of early, I guess, because I was doing everything looking for Pearl and just found it before
that
Pearl.
makes sense too.
It was so surprising to see that.
So if you actually last location Moon Pearl, you get a lot of stuff. I managed to go to all the locations that weren't the Moon Pearl, but also weren't progression. Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I hope this doesn't reflect on the rest of, at least the rest of me playing. I want to have one good seed before I get knocked out of the tournament, because I've been doing pretty well so far. Nobody noticed that I was playing badly in my second race against Taj, so but that wasn't so great either.
Yeah. We were just
Just-
waiting for the hovers to conclude. But yeah, no one saw anything.
no one saw anything.
Yeah, you know, I just followed along.
Yeah.
What you were doing made sense as you were doing it, and we were, you know, asking the questions, trying to figure it out as we went along.
And you didn't know where the moon pearl was, so it wasn't like, oh, just go to King's Tomb, because you didn't know either.
Yeah, not for almost an hour.
And if you spend that long going into these out of the way locations, King's Tomb is not a winning play. King's Tomb, I went there because I needed to stop and reset. That's my reset button. If something goes wrong in my seed and I don't know what to do next, or I just need like a chance to catch my breath, I just do King's Tomb.
It's a good way to think of it.
So got me my pearl, but it didn't give me my what was in pod. Hookshot and bow was in pod. Kane and Hera. So I spent a good portion of the rest of the seed just looking for those items.
Yeah. And do we have game 2 scheduled?
Oh yeah, it's 2 days from now. I think it overlaps with yours, so you won't get to watch it.
Right, true. All right, so we'll look forward to that, and I will look forward to watching the end of it if I can.
Yeah, and I'll look forward to watching yours afterward. Thanks for calming this one and tracking.
Yeah, you're welcome. It was a lot of fun.
As much as I don't want to, I will be watching it back.
Good.
I always do, no matter how badly it goes.
And any final words before we sign out?
Not from me.
Not really.
All right. Well, thank you both so much for racing. And thank you, Professor Pixie, for tracking. And thanks again to SpeedGaming for hosting another HMG race. And we'll see you all for the next one. Thanks for watching.